do you deal with grief caused by the death of a loved one or something similar?
Grief. Now, I want you to look at this with a certain openness, because when you're in grief, if somebody is in grief, you don't talk truth to them. You just hug them, you comfort them. You tell pretty lies to them. You don't tell truth to them, isn't it? Isn't it so? Someone is in grief, at that moment you don't talk truth to them. You just… pretty things you tell them, gentle things. Isn't it so? Because when they're in grief, they're like little children, they're broken and they've become tender. You just handle them tenderly and leave it. Maybe after they stand up on their feet, then you can tell them the truth. But when they're in grief, you don't… it's not right, it's not appropriate to try to tell them the hard truths of life, isn't it? So if you are in grief right now, I will just say nice things to you, sweet things. I'm capable. Though till now I have not said anything sweet or nice to you, I am capable of those things. So, what is grief? Grief is fundamentally someone who was a part of your life in so many ways maybe, or in some way maybe, is gone. Yes? So all that's happened to you is, one part of your life has become empty. You're not able to handle that emptiness. See, one human being goes away, it doesn't mean anything to you. Because every day, thousands of people go away, isn't it? Do we know how many people die every day in the world? Not just in Iraq, I'm saying, everywhere. How many people die in a day? Does anybody have statistics? Huh? Nobody's running an undertaker business or something? I think they would have surveyed and found out how many… the business potential in a day. Force, isn't it? Yes? Grief is a very crippling force. Because grief leaves you a big hole in you, then you don't know what to do next. So, it may sound inhuman what I'm saying, but I want you to understand that we people in the society have always gone about enshrining all the weaknesses and all the incompleteness as human. People have never gone about enshrining the highest aspects of human life as human, unfortunately. See, if somebody breaks down, you say, after all, he's human. If somebody dances in bliss, you say he's divine. Why? Why don't you see it's human? It's time we do that, isn't it? If somebody is full of love, you say, oh, he's divine. You have exported all the good things to heaven. If somebody is in love, it's divine. If somebody is in bliss, it's divine. I'm telling you, it's human. You are in blissful state, this is human. You're very, very loving, this is human. We need to see this, isn't it? It's very, very important that the highest qualities of humanity are not exported to heaven. All the beautiful things about a human being have been exported to heaven and they say, it is all coming from heaven. No, it is all coming from within a human being, isn't it so? Yes? When you feel love, do you see a ray of light shooting from the sky and entering you, or is it overwhelming from within you? Is it overflowing from within you, or is it coming from heaven? It is coming from within you. So however loving you are, why don't you see love is a human quality? The moment you say it's a divine quality, it becomes an alien quality, isn't it? Available only to Jesus or this guy or that guy, not available to you. Isn't it so? All the wonderful things about a human being, unfortunately, religions of the world have exported to heaven because they couldn't invent something new. Because they could not invent some other new quality which is not there in human beings. All the top qualities in a human being are sent to heaven. So whatever is the lowest quality in the human being, you call this human. No. So grief is not about somebody's death. Grief is just about your incompleteness. And grief can happen to you without anybody's death. Grief, people can be in grief simply because they're not successful, isn't it so? Yes? People can be in grief because they're not able to get what they want, isn't that so? Yes? People can be in grief if their house is burned down. People can be in grief if their car is lost. Yes? A child can be in grief if his teddy bear is gone, isn't it? Yes? A child may miss the teddy bear more than the parent. Isn't it so? He may grieve for the teddy bear much more than his grandfather. It is so. He may grieve for his dog much more than the grandfather. I've seen this happening and people are shocked. What is this? That is very human, don't worry. His connection with the dog is deeper than the grandfather, what to do? And what is wrong? What is the problem? So, grief is not about somebody's death. Grief means you must grieve because you left yourself incomplete. What is so fantastic? What is so absolutely wonderful? Without experiencing that, you're just living in your head. You have every reason to grieve. I agree with you.
For more on Sadhguru, visit www.ishafoundation.org.